enough, just print your name and your email address. That's what we'll need. And then next, if we'll look at these little half sheets that were passed out, is there anybody who doesn't have one and needs one? Okay, we'll quickly go over those. First item, our speaker is Dwayne Stovall, and there is his contact information in case after his presentation, he'll be around to visit a little bit, but if there's some other things you want to contact him about, those are his contact informations, and he also has cards here for you. We have applications to vote by mail. They are up here on the table. If you qualify, 65, disabled, whatever, there are different qualifications, you can send this in and they will send you the ballot by mail so you can vote by mail. Now, notice it has on this sheet, and pay close attention, this application must be in the hands of the election office no later than Monday, October 27th. That doesn't mean postmarked by then. It must be in their hands by the 27th of October. So there's plenty of time to get it. So if you would like to take advantage of that, please feel free to pick up one of these on your way out. Early voting will be October 20th through October 31st. And then, of course, Election Day is November the 4th. If you're looking for some information on candidates and how they voted, how they were fiscally, and so on, you can get information at those websites down there at powertexans.com. And then votetexas.gov is the website for the Texas Secretary of State. And then, of course, Tyler's Grassroots America, We the People, will, we really don't have the official list of candidates yet, but when that comes out, they will vet them and put their recommendations on their website. So that's a real handy and important website to have. And our next meeting is going to be on Thursday, October the 2nd. We haven't finalized the program yet, but we will be meeting Thursday, October the 2nd. I think John wanted to say, where are you? Okay, he asked to have a minute to say a word.
I would like to take the first a minute to release my time to Bob Brewer to make an announcement about an event that is going to take place this coming Saturday in Edom, Texas, in a pasture.
So, Doc Collins from the Edom Tea Party was going to try to be here to tell you about this, but he organized a pasture party for God and Country, and it seems like a really great venue. It's at Pecan Lake. It's right across from his veterinary practice there, 2 miles west of Edom. Edom. It seems like Eden when you go out there and see this place. It's really something else. Anyway, it's going to be Saturday. Gates open at 4:30. Music starts at 6. There's a group called Brandon that won the Religious Country Western Awards for the last 4 years in a row. They're sort of like the Brooks have done as to CNA. And Pastor Dan Cummings is going to be there. And I don't know if you know him, but 4 years ago he was preaching in a Keeper's Hall barn and bleacher seats and hay bales, and that's when I first met him. And now he's preaching every Sunday in the Capitol building in Washington, D.C. So anyway, he's going to be there, and he'll have a good message. Also, Austin Lux, the little Ted Cruz, Raphael Cruz, Ted's father, says Austin looks just like him, like he was when he was 14 and 15. So he puts on a really good speech. So try to get as many kids. We're trying to get as many kids as we can there. Admission is $20 per car, so hijack a bus and bring a busload. So anyway, it's 4:30. Gates open on Saturday, and it'll go to about 9:30 or 10.
Is he going to feed us?
Let's see. I think he's got food and water, and you're supposed to bring your own chairs and ground cover blankets and picnic baskets and all that's welcome. So probably be safest if you brought your own picnic basket and food.
Okay, I think that would be a real nice event, and I would like for you to go if you can. Is there anyone in this room that is familiar with the press conference that was held in the Capitol this morning? A couple of you are. Okay, let me tell you about
Dwayne's
it.
face.
It looks, pardon?
Look at Dwayne's face. He knows.
Yes, Dwayne knows about it. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it?
Very good turnout, enough media there.
Explain what it was for, what the purpose was.
The purpose of the press conference was to release copies and explain the detail, or somewhat of the details of a plan put together by grassroots activists, primarily worked on by Joanne Fleming and Dale Halls. They put the biggest part of the labor into it. But it's a written document that details what should take place with a special session and how we should approach this, which is, well, the basic message this morning was we're very upset that the grassroots and general citizens are the ones there having a meeting to talk about a plan. We should be on the other side of the microphone listening to our representatives who have a plan, but there is not. So it was a good turnout. We'll see how the results are over the next coming days, but I think it did well.
Be on the lookout to hear about it.
Yes, be on the lookout to hear about it. It's going to be on the web the next day or two, and you are going to be sent a request to go to that website and sign it. It's basically, in my words, it's calling out the governor, asking the governor to recognize Texas as a sovereign state and to protect our borders. In other words, push back on the federal government. Okay, that will be coming out. You'll be hearing more about it in the next few days. But if you hadn't heard about it, well, it's a first step when the Tea Parties are starting to call out our elected representatives in a manner that they have never been called out before, and hopefully it will continue. Is there anyone in the room that is not familiar with the health issues of the smart meters? Please raise your hand if you are not familiar with them, okay? I cannot vouch for the accuracy of this, but I was told today that 60 homes in Saskatchewan burned to the ground as a result of the smart meter. Saskatchewan has told the electric provider that they must remove all of the smart meters, return the analog meter, and pay for all of the damages. And I have pictures of the smart meter exploding and causing a fire. If you don't believe me, I can show you a picture of one actually occurring. There's several issues. I have a notebook that's probably 1.5 inches thick of the issues with the smart meters. There's all kinds of issues that was never addressed. Barry Smitherman was the chairman of the Public Utilities Commission when that thing got started. And I've had a personal talk with him, and he says, well, none of that ever came up. I said, well, then you didn't do due diligence before they approved it. But that be as it may. There is an opt-out procedure now. Is there anyone that wants to know about that doesn't know about it? Okay? You do not know about it and you want to know about it. Okay. You need to call Encore and tell them that you want the necessary paperwork to opt out. Now, there will be a charge. Currently, we're fighting that. This group that I'm a part of here called Texans Against Smart Meters is less than a dozen people. And we have been able to get an opt-out. We did not get the opt-out we wanted, but we got an opt-out. At first, the PUC says no opt-out, you must have the meter. Well, less than a dozen of us was able to fight it. So your vote, your voice does make a difference. And we do have an opt-out now, and you need to call Encore, tell them you want the paperwork to opt out of the smart meter. All it requires is that they will send you a form, you fill it out, sign it, send it back to them, and make sure you send it registered mail with a return receipt, so they can't say they didn't get it. And they will come out and remove your smart meter and put in an analog meter.
What is the fee for that?
Well, it depends. They've got about 4 prices on the sheet. If you want an analog meter, I think it was $167. It's steep, and we're going to get that reversed, but right now that's the way it is. It's $167, and then you're going to have to pay a fee of $26 a month for them to come read your meter. You've been paying to have your meter read since the day you got electricity, so now you're going to have to pay for it twice. Isn't that good for our government? Yes.
In Washington, they allow us to read our own meters, and they trust us.
Yeah. Well.
No, that's a lie.
Well, they don't trust us, but they let us read the meter.
I have 2 representatives and a state senator that are working to get this changed. But here is the most important part of this whole speech about the smart meter. December 2, in Austin, Texas, in the Capitol building, there is going to be a hearing before a judge that asks the judge to order the Public Utilities Commission to hold a public meeting. Because when this whole issue of the smart meter came up, they did not hold a public meeting. They were asked to hold a public meeting by the citizens, and they refused. So we filed a lawsuit, and we need help in paying for that lawsuit. If you've got a few extra bucks laying around, I have a brochure in my hand, and there's some laying on this table. I'm going to be using that same batch. It's the white one, and that gives you the encapsulated story of the smart meter. And I wish you would fill that courtroom up on December the 2nd. I think it's at, the hour escapes me and I don't want to tell you incorrectly. So I will be sending out another notice on it. But you should have already gotten a letter from me. If you didn't, then you're not on a mailing list. Please put your name on my mailing list and I'll see that you get one. But there's a host of issues with these meters: fires, health, and any number of them. And it's all been documented. PUC has chosen to ignore it. Okay, and that and the event on Saturday is my presentation, Dorothy. Thank you very much.
Thank you, John. If you all were not familiar with the reason that this pastor party, God Country Pastor Party, came about, at the end of the school year, this last year, in May or early June, about 5,000 teenagers gathered in a pasture somewhere over in that area, Edom, Ben Wheeler, somewhere, and basically had an orgy. It was a basic drug, alcohol, sex orgy over there. And Doc Collins, the vet in Edom, was just so horrified by what had happened that he said, we need to respond and give these teenagers a good, positive place to go and have fun, but do so in a godly manner. So that's what all this is about. So please do support this if you can in any way, and it'd be a good place for teenagers to go. So that's how that all came about. He's been working like a Trojan, getting that put together. On the table over there is a little box that has these books in it. Living with Agenda 21, it was written by Dr. Lawrence Zilmer, who is a former board member for HAWL Grassroots. These are free. Feel free to pick up one on your way out. If you don't know very much about Agenda 1, then at 21, then this is the time to find out about it. Tyler is the second largest city in Texas that goes by Agenda 21 principles. They used to call it Tyler 21, and then people started questioning it, and now it's called Tyler First.
Right.
I believe Tyler First, but it's still the same thing, and they do not seem to get it, what they're really doing, the kinds of principles that they are putting forth in the city. I'd like to ask Anthony Bruner to come forward. He is a write-in candidate on the Emergency Services District, which we are in, District 1. Anthony, if you'll just take a brief moment to introduce yourself to people, as if nobody knows you.
I'm Anthony Bruner. I've been attending meetings here for almost 4 years.
I don't think that's working.
Okay. But 2 weeks ago, I was informed that the only candidate that had registered is a volunteer fire department fireman, and that goes against the law. And I was asked to step up and run after looking into it and checking with a number of people who had attended the meetings. It became very evident that Emergency District 1 is just a way of growing the government. All of the tax money that comes from you that goes to the Emergency District, they have bought fire trucks, ambulances, equipment, but yet there's not much in the way of services or improved services going to you, the taxpayer. A lot of money has been wasted. And I would ask that you would support me. It will be very difficult because I am a write-in candidate. I believe, I've been told that the Emergency Service District will either be the last or the next to last item on the ballot. If you're doing a mail-in ballot, you're going to have to write in my name there. If you're voting at a voting place, I don't know the procedure yet. I hope to find out tomorrow. You will be able to write in my name and vote for me. I would appreciate your vote and support, that I may support you, we the people. One other comment I would like to make, September the 20th, a number of you know who Joe Arpaio is, but the Kaufman County Tea Party is having their annual fundraiser. Joe Arpaio will be the featured speaker. That's a Saturday night. Tickets, if you mail in and reserve now, are $15 a person, $25 at the door. I'm sure Joe Arpaio will probably also be passing out some cards asking for donations. And if there's anybody outside the state of Texas that we need to support, I would think it would be this man. He has stood up against the federal government and Homeland Security like no other sheriff of any state in the United States.
That was Arizona, wasn't it?
Right.
Arizona.
Thank you so much. Anthony Bruner, B-R-U-N-E-R, if you would choose to write his name in.
Spell it correctly.
Yes, if it's misspelled, they may not count it.
Won't take it.
B-R-U-N-E-R, Anthony, A-N-T-H-O-N-Y.